Imagine a life in which nothing can shake your peace, where the chaos, challenges, and even insults around you have no power to affect you. Today, we will explore 8 Buddhist wisdoms that can help you cultivate this unshakable state of inner peace. As the Buddha said, serenity comes from within. Do not seek it outside of yourself. Part 1. Embracing impermanence. In a serene village nestled between rolling hills and flowing rivers, there lived an elderly monk named Li Wei. His calm demeanor and profound wisdom had earned him the respect of everyone in the village. Though the world around him was ever-changing, he remained a beacon of peace and stability. One sunny morning, as the villagers bustled about their daily chores, a young woman named Mei approached the monk with a heavy heart. Mei had recently lost her beloved garden, destroyed in a sudden storm. Her once vibrant flowers and lush greenery were now nothing but broken stems and muddy soil. Mei felt an intense sadness and frustration, struggling to come to terms with the loss of something she had cherished for years. Seeing her distress, Li Wei invited Mei to sit with him by the riverbank. They watched the gentle flow of the water as it meandered through the valley. Li Wei began to speak, his voice soft and steady. "Mei," he said, "have you ever noticed how the river flows continuously, never pausing, never turning back? It moves past rocks, through valleys, and over plains, always adapting to its path." Mei nodded, her eyes fixed on the river, still teeming with sorrow. "Life," Li Wei continued, "is much like this river. It is constantly changing, shifting, and flowing. The flowers in your garden were like the river's water, beautiful and vibrant for a time, but always subject to change. The storm that came was simply another bend in the river, altering its course. But why must things change?" Mei asked, her voice trembling. "Why must everything we love eventually be taken away?" Li Wei smiled gently. "Change is the essence of life. Just as the river cannot remain still, life cannot remain static. The flowers you love taught you about beauty and growth, but they also remind us that everything is fleeting. By understanding this impermanence, we can learn to cherish what we have while it lasts, without being bound by fear of its loss." He paused, letting his words sink in. When we accept impermanence, we free ourselves from the pain of clinging too tightly to things that are destined to change. Just as the river embraces its journey, we must embrace the flow of our own lives. As the monk spoke, Mei looked at the river with new understanding. The water continued its journey, unaffected by the obstacles in its path, and she began to see her own loss in a different light. The storm had indeed taken her garden, but it had also opened the space for new beginnings. Li Wei continued, "The garden may be gone, but the lessons it taught you about beauty, care, and growth remain within you. Accepting that change is inevitable allows us to find peace in the midst of transitions. We can learn to adapt, to find joy in the present moment, and to let go of our fears." Mei took a deep breath, feeling a shift within her. The heavy burden of loss began to lift, replaced by a gentle acceptance. She realized that while her garden had vanished, the love and care she had poured into it had shaped her, and would continue to guide her in new ways. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the river, Mei thanked Li Wei for his wisdom. She felt a renewed sense of peace, understanding that impermanence was not something to fear, but a natural part of life's flow. Li Wei watched her walk away with a lighter step, content that his teachings had helped her find a path through her sorrow. The river, ever-changing and timeless, flowed on, a reminder of the natural rhythm of life and the beauty found in accepting its impermanent nature. In embracing impermanence, Mei had learned to navigate life's changes with grace and tranquility, finding a serene balance between loss and renewal. Part 2. The Heart of Compassion. In the same tranquil village, where the river flowed gently and the hills stood timeless, lived a humble healer named Ananda. Known for his deep compassion and gentle touch, Ananda was revered not only for his skills, but also for the kindness he showed to everyone who sought his help. His small clinic was a place of comfort, where the villagers knew they would find not only medical care, but also a warm embrace. One day, a man named Li Jun, weary and burdened, came to Olinda seeking aid. Li Jun had recently lost his job and, with it, his means of supporting his family. His face was lined with worrying, and his eyes reflected the weight of his despair. As he entered Ononda's clinic, he was greeted with a soft smile and a seat by the fire. Ononda listened attentively as Li Jun spoke of his troubles, nodding with understanding and empathy. When Li Jun finished, Ononda did not immediately offer practical solutions, but instead asked, "Li Jun, have you ever noticed how a single candle can light up a dark room? Its glow touches everything around it, dispelling the darkness." Li Jun looked puzzled. "What does this have to do with my situation?" Ononda gently replied, "Compassion is like that candle. When we share our light with others, it not only helps them, but also illuminates our own hearts. By caring for others, we heal ourselves." He continued, "In Buddhism, compassion is the heart's way of connecting with others, feeling their pain, and extending a helping hand. When we open our hearts to those who suffer and offer our support, we cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and satisfaction. This act of kindness is not merely about alleviating others' pain, but about purifying our own spirit." Olinda then shared a story from his own life. "Once, when I was young, I faced many hardships. During one particularly difficult time, I met a wandering monk who was hungry and in need of shelter. Though I had little to offer, I shared what I had and gave him a place to stay. In doing so, I found a profound sense of fulfillment. It was in that moment of giving, when I felt most connected to the world, that I discovered the true meaning of compassion." Li Jun listened intently, his initial tension easing as he absorbed Ononda's words. "But how can I find the strength to help others when I am struggling myself?" he asked. Ononda replied with a reassuring smile, "Compassion does not require us to have everything figured out or to be free from our own struggles. It asks us to open our hearts and act with kindness, no matter our circumstances. In helping others, we create a ripple effect of positivity that can lift us as well." He handed Li Jun a bowl of soup and a warm blanket, symbols of his own support and empathy. Let this be a reminder that even in our darkest times, our acts of compassion can bring light. By helping others, we heal ourselves and cultivate a deep, lasting peace. Li Jun took the gifts with gratitude, feeling a shift in his spirit. He realized that despite his own difficulties, there was strength in extending kindness to others. As he left Ononda's clinic, he felt a new sense of purpose and connection, understanding that his own pain could be alleviated by the simple, profound act of compassion. Ononda watched as Li Jun walked away with a lighter step, feeling content that his teachings had made a difference. The healer knew that compassion was a path to inner peace, and that by nurturing this heart of kindness, one could find profound satisfaction and serenity. In embracing compassion, Li Jun began to heal, discovering that caring for others was not just a remedy for their suffering, but a source of solace for his own troubled soul. Part 3. Letting go of attachment. In the heart of the village, nestled between lush fields and ancient trees, lived a man named Wei Liang. Known for his dedication to his craft, Wei Liang was a skilled carpenter whose beautiful furniture was highly sought after. His workshop was filled with intricate designs and fine woodwork, each piece a testament to his craftsmanship and attention to detail. However, Wei Liang harbored a secret burden and attachment to his creations that weighed heavily on his heart. One day, as Wei Liang worked on a particularly elaborate piece, a young traveler entered his workshop. The traveler, Mei Ling, was drawn by the beauty of Wei Liang's work and admired a beautifully carved chest that stood proudly in the center of the room. She marveled at its elegance and asked, "Wei Liang, what does this chest mean to you?" Wei Liang paused and looked at the chest with a mixture of pride and possessiveness. "This chest is my finest work. I have poured my heart into it, and it represents all my skill and effort. It is very precious to me." Mei Ling nodded thoughtfully. "I can see that it is a beautiful creation, but have you ever considered what happens to our attachments? Sometimes, holding on to something too tightly can cause us pain. Wei Liang frowned slightly. What do you mean? Mei Ling continued. In Buddhism, attachment is seen as a source of suffering. We often cling to outcomes, possessions, or relationships, believing that they define our happiness. Yet, when we are attached, we are vulnerable to pain and loss. The true freedom comes from letting go of these attachments. She shared a story from her own life. Once, I was deeply attached to a piece of jewelry that had been in my family for generations. When I lost it, I felt an overwhelming sense of grief. It was only when I realized that my happiness did not depend on that object, but on my inner state, that I found peace. I understood that the attachment had been the root of my suffering. Wei Liang listened with growing interest, his gaze shifting between Mei Ling and the chest. But how can I let go of something that means so much to me? Mei Ling smiled gently. Letting go does not mean abandoning what you cherish. It means recognizing that true contentment comes from within, not from external possessions or outcomes. By releasing our grip on what we hold dear, we free ourselves from the fear of losing it. This liberation brings a deep sense of tranquility. She continued, imagine a serene lake at dawn. The water is calm, reflecting the sky with perfect clarity. The lake is not disturbed by the ripples of desire or fear. It remains peaceful and undisturbed. By letting go of our attachments, we can cultivate a similar inner peace, remaining steady and untroubled by the fluctuations of life. Wei Liang considered Mei Ling's words as he looked at the chest. He began to understand that his attachment to the chest had created a barrier to his own happiness. He realized that by letting go of his possessiveness, he could appreciate the chest for what it was, a beautiful expression of his craft, rather than an object that defined his worth. With a newfound perspective, Wei Liang decided to gift the chest to Mei Ling, recognizing the joy it could bring to someone else. As he handed it over, he felt a profound sense of release. The chest, once a symbol of his attachment, now represented his ability to embrace the freedom of letting go. As Mei Ling departed with the chest, Wei Liang felt lighter and more at ease. He understood that true freedom came from within, not from clinging to external objects or outcomes. His heart, once burdened by attachment, now experienced the serenity of the clear, calm lake. In letting go of his attachment, Wei Liang found a deeper, more lasting peace, realizing that the essence of happiness lies not in holding on tightly, but in embracing the freedom of release. Part 4. Mindful Living. In the peaceful village of Lishan, where the air was fresh and the pace of life was unhurried, there lived a woman named Lian Hua, known for her warm smile and gentle demeanor. Lian Hua was a beloved figure in the village. Despite her serene outward appearance, she struggled with a restless mind, often consumed by regrets about the past and worries about the future. One afternoon, while Lian Hua was tending to her garden, a traveling monk named Master Jin appeared on the village path. His presence brought a calming aura that seemed to touch everything around him. Intrigued by his tranquility, Lian Hua invited him to sit with her in the garden. As they sat amidst the blooming flowers, Lian Hua sighed and said, "Master Jin, I feel as though my mind is constantly racing. I am haunted by past mistakes and consumed by fears about what might happen in the future. How can I find peace amidst this turmoil?" Master Jin looked around at the garden, where each flower and leaf seemed to be fully present in its own moment. "Lian Hua," he said softly, "the practice of mindfulness can help you find peace. Mindfulness is about living in the present moment, fully experiencing each moment without being distracted by regrets or worries." He pointed to a blooming lotus flower in the garden. "Observe this lotus. It grows in the mud, but remains untouched by the muck. It focuses on its own growth and beauty, regardless of its surroundings." Similarly, by practicing mindfulness, we can focus on the present moment and find serenity within ourselves. Lian Hua listened intently as Master Jin continued, "Mindfulness involves being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. It means experiencing each moment as it is, without being lost in the past or anxious about the future. When you practice mindfulness, You begin to appreciate the richness of the present moment and find peace in the now. Master Jin guided Leon Hua through a simple mindfulness exercise. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Notice the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. Focus on the present moment, the feeling of the sun on your skin, the sound of the breeze rustling through the leaves, and the scent of the flowers around you. As Leon Hua followed his instructions, she felt a shift within her. Her racing thoughts began to settle, and she found herself immersed in the tranquility of the garden. She realized that by focusing on the present, she could experience a profound sense of calm and contentment. Master Jin spoke again. When you embrace mindfulness, you discover that each moment is a gift. You begin to appreciate the simple joys of life, whether it's the taste of a meal, the warmth of a hug, or the beauty of a sunset. By living fully in the present, you let go of unnecessary worries and find peace in the here and now. Leon Hua thanked Master Jin and resolved to incorporate mindfulness into her daily life. She practiced being present while performing everyday tasks, cooking, cleaning, and even during conversations with others. Gradually, she noticed that her mind was less burdened by regrets and anxieties. She found herself more engaged with the world around her and more appreciative of the small moments of joy. As the days passed, Leon Hua's life transformed. The present moment, once overshadowed by past regrets and future fears, became a source of peace and fulfillment. She embraced each moment with gratitude and awareness, finding serenity in the ordinary and the extraordinary alike. By living mindfully, Leon Hua learned to appreciate the present and find contentment in every moment. The practice of mindfulness brought her a deep and lasting peace, allowing her to navigate life's challenges with grace and clarity. Through this practice, she discovered that true happiness lies not in the distant past or the uncertain future, but in the beauty of the present moment. Part 5. Contentment and Joy. In the heart of the bustling city of Daoling, there lived a man named Wei Chen. Wei Chen was a successful businessman with a thriving company and a comfortable home. From the outside, it seemed that he had everything one could wish for, yet he was often restless and discontented. Despite his wealth and achievements, he felt a constant yearning for more success, more possessions, more recognition. One day, while walking through a quiet park to clear his mind, Wei Chen encountered an elderly woman sitting on a bench, feeding the birds. Her serene demeanor and gentle smile caught his attention. Curious, Wei Chen struck up a conversation with her. "Excuse me, madam," he began. "I couldn't help but notice how content you seem. I have achieved much in my life, yet I still feel an emptiness. How do you find such peace and joy?" The elderly woman, whose name was Emmy Eiling, looked at Wei Chen with kind eyes and replied, "Young man, contentment comes from within. It's not about what you have or what you lack, but how you appreciate what you already possess." She continued, "In Buddhism, we learn the value of contentment, or samtosa. This means being satisfied with what we have and finding joy in the present moment, rather than being driven by endless desires and ambitions." Intrigued, Wei Chen asked, "But how can one cultivate such contentment, especially when desires seem to be endless?" Emmy Eiling smiled and replied, "Contentment starts with gratitude. When we recognize and appreciate what we have, we shift our focus from what is missing to what is present. This shift in perspective allows us to experience joy in the simple and everyday aspects of life." She encouraged Wei Chen to practice a daily reflection. Each day, take a moment to list 3 things you are grateful for, things that bring you joy, no matter how small they may seem. It could be the warmth of the sun, the laughter of a friend, or a delicious meal. By focusing on these blessings, you train your mind to see abundance rather than lack. Wei Chen took Emmy Eiling's advice to heart. He began each day by writing in a gratitude journal, listing the simple pleasures and joys he experienced. He noticed the vibrant colors of the sunset, the laughter of children playing in the park, and the comfort of a cozy home. As days turned into weeks, Wei Chen's outlook on life began to change. He found himself feeling more at peace and satisfied with his life. The constant yearning for more started to fade, replaced by a deep sense of appreciation for what he already had. He began to find joy in the ordinary moments, sipping a cup of tea, spending time with loved ones, and enjoying a quiet walk in the park. M.E. Eiling's wisdom resonated deeply with Wei Chen. He realized that his restlessness had stemmed from an endless pursuit of external achievements, driven by a sense of inadequacy. By embracing contentment, he discovered a wellspring of inner peace and happiness that was not dependent on external circumstances. Wei Chen also shared his newfound perspective with others, spreading the message of contentment and gratitude. He encouraged his friends and colleagues to appreciate what they had and to find joy in their daily lives. Through practicing contentment, Wei Chen transformed his life. He no longer felt driven by insatiable desires, but instead cherished the present moment and the blessings he had. His heart was filled with a deep sense of satisfaction and joy, and he navigated life's ups and downs with a calm and grateful spirit. The lesson of contentment taught Wei Chen that true happiness is not found in the endless pursuit of more, but in the ability to appreciate and find joy in what we already have. By embracing this mindset, he discovered a profound inner peace that remained unwavering, even amidst the changing tides of life. Part 6: Zen Meditation and Mindfulness. In the serene mountain retreat of Xianhu, nestled among towering pine trees and flowing streams, lived a scholar named Yang Wei. Yang Wei was known for his sharp intellect and deep curiosity, but despite his academic achievements, he felt a persistent sense of inner turbulence. His mind was often overwhelmed by a constant stream of thoughts and distractions, leaving him unable to experience true calm and clarity. One day, Yang Wei met an elderly Zen master, Huiming, during his walk in the forest. Huiming was known for his wisdom and tranquil presence, which seemed to radiate a profound sense of peace. Yang Wei, intrigued by the Zen master's demeanor, approached him with a question that had been troubling him. "Master Huiming," Yang Wei asked, "I find it difficult to quiet my mind. My thoughts are always racing, and I struggle to find peace. How can I achieve a state of calm and focus?" Huiming smiled gently and invited Yang Wei to sit with him by a peaceful stream. "The path to inner calm begins with Zen meditation," he explained. Zen meditation, or Zazen, is a practice that helps us clear the mind of distractions and cultivate a state of focused tranquility. He continued, "Meditation involves sitting in a comfortable position, with your back straight and your mind alert. You focus on your breath, observing the natural flow of air as it enters and exits your body. When thoughts arise, gently acknowledge them and return your focus to your breath." Huiming guided Yang Wei through a basic meditation practice. As Yang Wei closed his eyes and focused on his breathing, he noticed a flurry of thoughts rushing through his mind: worries about his work, plans for the future, and reflections on the past. Each time his attention wandered, Huiming encouraged him to simply observe the thoughts without judgment, and then gently bring his focus back to his breath. Over time, Yang Wei began to experience the benefits of regular meditation practice. He found that, with patience and consistency, his mind became more centered and less overwhelmed by distractions. The practice of meditation allowed him to clear away the mental clutter and experience a sense of calm and clarity that he had longed for. Huiming emphasized the importance of making meditation a daily practice. "Even a few minutes each day can make a significant difference," he said. "Meditation helps to balance the mind, providing a space of stillness amidst the noise of daily life. It is like tending a garden. Regular care and attention allow it to flourish." Yang Wei took Huiming's advice to heart and incorporated meditation into his daily routine. He set aside time each morning to sit in quiet reflection, focusing on his breath and embracing the stillness. Gradually, he noticed that he was better able to handle the stresses and challenges of daily life with a sense of equanimity and grace. Through his practice of Zen meditation, Yang Wei discovered a newfound inner balance. He was able to approach life's challenges with greater clarity and calm, maintaining his tranquility even in the midst of external disturbances. Meditation became a source of strength and serenity, allowing him to navigate the complexities of life with a clear and peaceful mind. As Liang Wei continued to meditate, he found that the practice extended beyond the moments of formal sitting. He carried the principles of mindfulness and focus into his daily activities, finding peace and presence in the most ordinary tasks. The practice of Zen meditation had transformed his approach to life, helping him to remain grounded and centered no matter what came his way. In the end, Liang Wei's journey with Zen meditation taught him that true peace and clarity are cultivated through consistent practice and self-awareness. By embracing the art of meditation, he found a deep and abiding sense of calm that illuminated his path and enriched his life. Part 7. Acts of Kindness and Generosity. In the bustling town of Linshan, there lived a woman named Meihua, who owned a small bakery. Her shop was known for its delicious pastries and warm atmosphere. But what truly set it apart was Meihua's remarkable generosity. She had a deep belief in the Buddhist teaching of dana, or generosity, and practiced it daily through her actions. Meihua's bakery was a haven for many in the community. Each morning, she would set aside a portion of her freshly baked goods to give away to those in need: homeless individuals, struggling families, and anyone who could benefit from a warm meal. Her acts of kindness extended beyond the walls of her bakery. She also volunteered at the local shelter and offered her time to teach baking to underprivileged youth. One day, a young man named Li Wei visited Meihua's bakery. He was a recent college graduate struggling to find employment and was feeling disheartened. Meihua noticed the weary look on his face and offered him a warm smile and a free pastry. As they spoke, Li Wei shared his troubles and frustrations with her. Meihua listened attentively and offered him words of encouragement. "Sometimes," she said, "we find ourselves in difficult situations not to punish us, but to teach us. In these moments, acts of kindness and compassion can bring light into our lives." She invited Li Wei to volunteer at her bakery, suggesting that he could help her with the community outreach program. Li Wei was initially hesitant, but agreed to give it a try. As he worked alongside Meihua, he began to see the positive impact of their efforts on others. The gratitude and smiles from those they helped brought him a sense of fulfillment and purpose. Through his time volunteering, Li Wei discovered the joy of giving without expecting anything in return. He saw how Meihua's actions not only provided for those in need, but also fostered a sense of community and connection. He realized that generosity was not just about giving material goods, but also about sharing time, compassion, and wisdom. Meihua's philosophy of generosity was deeply rooted in the Buddhist concept of merit and karma. By selflessly giving, she believed she was accumulating positive merit, which helped purify her heart and soul. Her acts of kindness were a form of spiritual practice, creating a ripple effect of goodwill and compassion in the community. As Li Wei continued to volunteer, he found himself becoming more attuned to the needs of others and more appreciative of the small acts of kindness in his own life. The experience transformed his outlook, teaching him that true happiness comes from contributing to the well-being of others. One day, Meihua decided to organize a community event to celebrate their collective efforts. She invited everyone who had benefited from the bakery's outreach program, along with the volunteers and supporters. The event was filled with laughter, music, and shared stories of how acts of kindness had touched people's lives. As the event came to a close, Li Wei approached Meihua with a newfound sense of gratitude. "Thank you, Meihua," he said. "Your generosity has shown me the true meaning of happiness and connection. I've learned that the greatest joy comes from helping others and being part of something greater than myself." Meihua smiled warmly and replied, "Generosity is a path to inner peace and fulfillment. By giving freely and without attachment, we create bonds with others and enrich our own lives. It's a practice that brings both blessings and joy." Through her example and teachings, Meihua had not only transformed Li Wei's life, but had also contributed to a stronger and more compassionate community. Her dedication to acts of kindness and generosity exemplified the Buddhist principle of metta, or loving kindness, demonstrating that through selfless actions, we can create a harmonious and nurturing world. In the end, MEI, whose journey with generosity and kindness illustrated the profound impact of selfless giving, by embracing the practice of dana, she found a deep sense of inner peace and joy, and she inspired others to follow in her footsteps, creating a legacy of compassion and connection that would continue to ripple through the lives of many. Part 8. Right Understanding and Wisdom. In the serene village of Ching Mei, nestled among rolling hills and flowing streams, lived an elderly renowned for his profound wisdom and understanding. Master Liu had spent decades studying the ancient teachings of Buddhism. His home was a sanctuary of learning, where seekers from far and wide came to gain insight into the nature of existence. Master Liu's teachings revolved around the concepts of right understanding and wisdom. He often emphasized that true wisdom came from a clear and deep comprehension of the world's fundamental truths. According to Master Liu, right understanding involved a mindful awareness of one's actions and their consequences, while wisdom was the ability to grasp the deeper essence of reality, transcending superficial appearances. One day, a young woman named Mei Lin arrived at Master Liu's door, troubled and confused by the challenges she faced. Mei Lin had recently experienced a series of personal setbacks and found herself overwhelmed by the uncertainties of life. Seeking guidance, she approached Master Liu with a heavy heart. Master Liu welcomed Mei Lin with his characteristic warmth and invited her to sit by the tranquil garden behind his home. As they settled amidst the blooming flowers and the gentle hum of nature, Mei Lin poured out her concerns. "I feel lost," she said. "No matter how hard I try, I can't seem to find clarity or peace. I'm constantly caught up in my own worries and frustrations." Master Liu listened intently, his gaze steady and compassionate. After a moment, he replied, "True understanding comes from seeing beyond the immediate and superficial. It involves recognizing the nature of our thoughts and actions and understanding how they shape our experiences." He guided Mei Lin in a practice of mindfulness, encouraging her to observe her thoughts without judgment and to reflect on the interconnectedness of all things. When we cultivate right understanding, Master Liu explained, we gain insight into the consequences of our actions and the motivations behind them. This awareness helps us make choices that align with our deepest values. Master Liu then introduced Mei Lin to the concept of wisdom. He explained that wisdom was not merely knowledge, but a profound realization of the nature of existence. Through contemplation and meditation, Mei Lin began to grasp the impermanent and interconnected nature of all things. She realized that her struggles and setbacks were part of a larger tapestry of experiences, each contributing to her growth and understanding. As Mei Lin delved deeper into her practice, she started to see her challenges in a new light. Instead of feeling defeated, she began to approach them with curiosity and openness. She understood that her difficulties were opportunities for learning and self-discovery. With this newfound perspective, she was able to respond to life's ups and downs with greater equanimity and wisdom. Master Liu continued to guide Mei Lin in her journey, offering insights on how to integrate right understanding and wisdom into everyday life. He encouraged her to approach each situation with a sense of awareness and to cultivate a balanced and thoughtful response. Wisdom, he said, allows us to navigate life's complexities with grace and clarity. It helps us maintain inner peace, even amidst external turmoil. In time, Mei Lin found herself transformed by her practice. She embraced her challenges with a sense of acceptance and calm, and her interactions with others became more compassionate and understanding. The teachings of Master Liu had illuminated her path, providing her with the tools to navigate life with a clear mind and a peaceful heart. Master Liu's wisdom and guidance had not only helped Mei Lin find her way, but also enriched the lives of many others who sought his counsel. His teachings on right understanding and wisdom continued to inspire and uplift, demonstrating the profound impact of these principles on personal growth and inner tranquility. As the seasons changed and the garden blossomed anew, Mei Lin remained grateful for the insights she had gained. She understood that true wisdom was a continuous journey of exploration and understanding. By embodying the principles of right understanding and wisdom, she had discovered a deeper sense of purpose and peace, guiding her through life's many challenges with grace and clarity. Through these 8 Buddhist wisdoms, we can cultivate a stable and lasting state of inner peace in our daily lives. Remember, true peace comes from within. Let us practice these wisdoms together to live a more peaceful and contented life.